I started to work as a, what do you call it, yesero.
A steel worker.
No, yesero.
Yesero. I forget. A plasterer. 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 Yeah.
Outside in the suburb of Stuttgart, and I had to get a special permit from the Gestapo that I could go on the
To get to work.
I didn't have any transportation, so I had to get a permit from the Gestapo because I had to be there.
Was it a train or a bus or?
In winter time at 8 o'clock and summertime at 7 o'clock they started to work. So it was in winter time it was terrible. I mean, the streetcars they didn't run too frequently. So I worked there as a plasterer for about 6 months, and then I heard that the Gestapo is the Geheime Staatspolizei, German secret police, that they had formed a Beijuss, an office to consolidate all the permits the Jews needed to get out. Because it was, you needed about 20 different permits from
This is to leave the country.
from every organization you can think of. Maybe up with your taxes up to date, that you didn't have any problems or didn't have any problems with the police, and declaration that you left everything already, that you have a declaration there. And so this office was formed to consolidate all these permits. If someone emigrated, then we helped them. I say we because I got a job there, because I knew how to type.
Yeah, shorthand, yeah.
Shorthand. And so I worked there under the Gestapo, auspices of the Gestapo, and I went. My job was in the passport department, and then later on in the foreign currency department. The foreign currency department didn't have much to do because all the foreign currencies was brought in, unless you had already a permit to leave, and they, let's say, with the ex-ship from Hamburg, and they didn't accept any marks, one on the other line, then they gave you a permit to get the foreign currency.
Yeah.
But those permits were hard to get, right?
Yes.
The permits to do everything, to go and work.
You needed a permit for everything. If
For
you
everything.
wanted to go on a train, if you want to make a long distance call, you needed a permit.
If you want to make a long
distance
you
call,
needed a
you
permit?
needed a permit from the Gestapo.
Wow.
So if you want to make a long distance call, it took you about a week until you had a permit to make the call.
Did they charge for those permits? You had to pay or just time?
There's stamps, a stamp duty. So my job was within my job. It was to go to a travel agency. It was the biggest travel agency in Stuttgart. Where the people who had already their visas got their bookings, you know.
The bookings for the trips. Yeah.
At that time, they still had the Trans-Siberian Railroad. That was the railroad going from Moscow to Vladivostok.
Yeah.
Took three weeks. Sealed
The
train.
Midnight Express.
Everything was sealed. People couldn't get out during those 3 weeks. But listen, I wished at that time I would have been in
On that train, sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Because things didn't get better after that.
But I understand that when people got later on from Vladivostok to Shanghai, then Shanghai was even worse. Shanghai must have been terrible at the time. So I went there about twice a week. with my little bag with all the papers in there. And there was a girl who always attended me. And she said, "Why don't you leave?" I said, "I don't have any chance to leave." She said, "I mean, how come you work here?" I said, I just can't. She said, "Why, listen, I mean, have you tried everything?" I said, "What is everything?" He said, "Well, all the consulates." I said, no, but we will do it. We had that in mind already. We were 3 friends.
Mm-hmm.
And the 3 of us were working in that, in the same...
The places for all the permits, yeah.
Yes. And so we drew up a poem in German, mimeographed it at that time. You had to mimeograph it.
Yeah.
You know? And we sent it out to 64 different consulates and embassies.
Mm-hmm.
What did the poem say? You remember what the poem said? Sort of?
Well, it said that our age, we are young, we want to get out, we are willing to do anything, to work anything, just to get out. And we ask for your help to get a visa.
Mm-hmm.
So, of the 64, 4 answered. 60 didn't answer.
Okay. So 4 embassies answered, but what did they say?
The 4 that answered, the 3 said they are sorry, but they cannot give any visa.
Okay.
And the one that answered was the consul from Liberia.
Liberia.
From Liberia. And he was in Bremen. And Bremen was the other side. I mean, we Stuttgart is in the south, and Bremen is all the way up in the north. So we had to go to Gestapo and tell them the whole story. And that we would like to get a permit to go on the train to go up there. And they said, "Well, what do you need to go up there?" So they said they would give us the visa, but we would have to bring a passport which is valid, and we would have to bring them if possible, some booking.
Some book.
For Liberia.
Booking.
On a plane, a ship?
Oh, booking. Yeah, the tickets. The ticket. Yeah.
Yeah. So we went up there. That was the first time in my life that I saw a Negro.
Really?
Yeah.
So you went to Liberia?
No,
we
to
went
Bremen.
to Bremen.
Oh, okay.
That's where the consulate was.
Consulate,
Okay.
yes. And we gave our passport, and he said, "Well, he's going to give us a visa, but he cannot give us a landing permit, because the landing permit is not authorized to give us. That you can only get from the Minister of the Interior, and that he doesn't have any faculty to do about this whatsoever."
What year is this? What year are we talking about?
That was already in at the beginning of 41 in March 41, more or less, April 41. And so he gave us the visa and our passport, and so we had a visa, but nothing else. So when I went the next time to the girl again on the travel agency, she said, "Well, how are you doing?" I said, "Listen, we could hardly speak to a Gentile, you know."
Mm-hmm.
So I said, I have a visa from Liberia, but I don't have
A
any
landing permit.
I don't have any. How do I get to Liberia? She said, "Well, listen." She took out a big book, I remember, with all the shipping lines and the ships, where they go and when they go, and to where they go, and from where they go. And she told me, Liberia, she said, there is only from Cadiz, from Spain, freighters go there to Monrovia.
Mm-hmm.
That's the capital of Liberia.
Mm-hmm. At that time, yeah.
So the belly of Africa there.
No, it's not mine, but it's yours, don't you? No, it's just a reminder of something, a message or something. Yeah.
So I said, "This is my situation. I mean, what good is the visa for?" how can I get to Liberia? Get up to the freighters from Cardiff. They leave about once every 3 weeks. So I said, can you book me? He said, do you have foreign currency? I said, how can I have foreign currency? He said, you have to pay that in foreign currency. I mean, I'm very sorry about this. So she said, I have to see my boss in the next room, so I'll be back in a moment. So she went to see her boss. She opened her intentionally
To draw.
her door, and I saw the stationery of the Reisebüro Rominger. That's the name of the travel agency.
Yeah.
And I took about 5 or 6 pages or 8 pages, put them in my. And when she came back, I said, okay, is there anything you can do? She said, no, there's not much I can do. I mean, you need a booking, and that has to be paid in
Foreign currency.
foreign currency. So when the 3 of us, the 3 friends got together, I told them the story. I told them I have here stationery, because I don't know whether she did it intentionally or unintentionally.
Doesn't matter. You need the best. You need the
had
stationery.
She was maybe 4 or 5 years older than I was.
Yeah.
And my father was good looking.
Yeah.
I bet.
I had hair. And so we falsified a booking, a letter. I mean, Reisebüro Rominger. We knew exactly what it looked like.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know.
yeah. Sure.
And she had given me the ships, and when they left, so we forged it. And now.
And that was the same as the booking. That was like your ticket, no? That was like the ticket. That was.
It was
We
a
didn't have
booking.
any-
Yeah, it was the
we didn't
booking,
have any ticket,
yeah,
though.
yeah.
We only had that it was booked
It was, yeah.
and it was paid for.
Great.
Yes.
Yeah.
So when we had this, now what we're going to do? I came back the next time to the girl. I said, well, we seem to have a booking. I didn't tell her anything about it.